We'll discuss that, of course. More trouble for Deshaun Watson. The Lakers, what's life going to be like without AD and LeBron? We'll get some answers because it's First Take. Magic happens. Stay tuned. You know what's coming.
Davis a little shaken up after the plays. He got hit. Grabs that right Achilles area, and that's not a good sign.
LeBron, down he goes, and he grabs his ankle. LeBron with his right ankle, and he's hurt.
We just all praying and hoping for the best outcome.
I haven't necessarily seen him scream and skull like that. Had to be probably hurt a little bit.
We just gotta stay together as a team. That's about it. Next man up mentality, and that's it. We still gotta get some wins.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to First Take. Thank you for being with us. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karen Rose. Gentlemen, looking dapper, suited and booted, and we are ready to go because we have a lot to tackle today. So let's do this. But let's begin with the Lakers, who lost by 17. You don't like his?
It's all right. I mean, it's just the same. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
it's some version of the same thing.
I mean, Max is a good-looking dude. It's
that
just,
is true.
It's the same. It's like it's the same thing all the time.
Go back to the first part.
I'm just saying.
See,
you know
if you
what I'm
look,
saying?
it's okay. I don't
He's
need to.
He's a dapper man or whatever. I'm just saying. You know, I mean, it's just worthy.
I think I said
now
suited
you
and booted
with the white Molly. And that's fly.
Thank
we
you.
all know Molly looks good in everything. Go ahead.
Just trying to keep up with you all.
That's right.
Thank you.
Keep up. She's trying to keep up with us.
All right, guys.
That's funny.
I am.
Let's go.
All right, gentlemen, best in the business. Let's talk about these Lakers, though. They lost by 17, obviously, to the Suns. This is the first game where they haven't had AD. He's been out for a while with the calf. Now we have LeBron with the high ankle sprain. Max, are you starting to get concerned here, starting to lose faith in LA's ability to overcome all these struggles?
I'm not, because when you say overcome all the struggles, what we're really talking about is LeBron and AD's injury, period. Now, AD is expected to play in April, coming right up. And LeBron also is supposed to be back before the end of the regular season. And if that holds true, then they have enough of a cushion right now in the Western Conference where they won't miss the playoffs. If you're like, whoa, we're talking about the Lakers missing the playoffs, the Western Conference is very competitive. And when you are a top-heavy team, which is a good idea, if you can be the kind of team that has LeBron and AD, guess what? You're usually not going to be very deep with starting caliber players, and that's the case of the Lakers. Schroeder's like an average starting point guard, which is a pretty good player. You can be an average starting NBA point guard. They probably don't have another starting caliber player on the roster. Some good rotation pieces, that's about it. They have about, 15 games on the outside where they have to compete, win at least 5 of them, let's say, and they'll still be in the playoffs. That's the main thing. You got to make sure you don't miss the playoffs, and it seems from reports with LeBron and AD that they will be back with enough time that the Lakers won't fall out of the playoff picture. After that, guys, the seeding in the playoffs, Stephen A., they're going to have to beat some combination of Denver, Utah, the Clippers, any which way you slice it, whether that's in an early round matchup or late round matchup. There's no getting through the Western Conference without facing some very good teams. If you're the Lakers, whether it's the Blazers, the Suns, whoever it is, there are going to be multiple dangerous teams you'll have to navigate through in the playoffs. I believe they're going to be okay, provided LeBron and AD are on the court.
I'm not so sure, Max Kellerman. I'm not so sure. One reason is that if the playoffs were to begin today, do you know who the Lakers' opponent would be?
They are in fourth now?
They are in third, and it would be the Portland Trailblazers.
Right.
It would be the Portland Trailblazers. Let's pay attention to that. And the reason why we have to pay attention to that is because the two teams ahead of them conceivably could stay that way in Utah and Phoenix for the regular season, with a little bit under 30 games left. We also have to pay attention to this, and this is why I say I'm not so sure. Max Kellerman, you know, I'm a busy man. I'm a very, very busy man. I host 3 shows, for crying out loud. I co-host First Take, okay, obviously. I got Stephen A's World, and then obviously I got NBA with Stephen A. That not to mention the Sports Center duties and everything else I got going on. Plus I'm an executive producer. I'm a busy man, okay? So I bring that up, Max, to point out how I try to leave the inside of business to the greats like Wojnarowski and others, like Woj and others. Like, we got Zach Lowe, everybody else. I mean, listen, Mark Spears, rather, a whole bunch of people, okay? We got people. We got the gamut covered here at ESPN. But I'm getting suspicious. Hasn't KD been out a little bit too long?
KD?
Let me finish. Mm-hmm. KD, I bring up KD and AD in the same sentence. Haven't they been out? I mean, yes, AD's been about 20 games. You know, and again, we're leaning back on Max Kellerman before KD went down in the finals because Max kept I don't give a damn what y'all say. You understand what I'm saying? Even though some people would still argue, even after he tore his Achilles, that one had nothing to do with the other, whatever.
If it quacks like a duck, what?
If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it ain't a mongoose. I got all of that. You know me. But what I'm saying is, my antennas are getting raised. I'm about to get nosy is what I'm trying to say. Usually I'm just sitting back, I'm hosting. You know, I get calls, I got contacts. I've been covering the league for a quarter century. I got major contacts. All of that stuff is good. But I don't have time, okay? I don't have time, all right? I get my information, but I lean on the dudes because we got a crew here at ESPN. But I'm getting suspicious. It's been a little bit too long with these injuries. And I'm starting to feel, Max, that you know what? It's worse than we're being led to believe. And so I'm of the mindset, first of all, Lakers ain't winning the West without both AD and LeBron. Ain't happening. So, and I ain't worried about LeBron coming back. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not accusing him of faking the injury by any stretch of the imagination. I would never accuse any player of doing that, especially LeBron. But I don't care if LeBron's out the next month and a half. He deserves it. He's in the NBA Finals. The brother shows up, only missed one game this year. I don't give a damn if LeBron takes the next month off. I know that brother going to be ready come playoff time. I have no doubt. AD's an entirely different matter. And without AD, Lakers might go home in the first round. Now, I can't see it. I can't see it because LeBron don't go home in the first round. But I'm getting very, very, very suspicious on the West Coast with AD and on the East Coast with KD. I'm getting very, very suspicious.
Sherlock is going to dust off the pipe and the hat.
Madlock, Perry Mason, pick it. I don't give a damn. I'm beyond inquisitive at this point. It's getting to the point. I'm not ready to say that the Lakers have nothing to worry about because I'm not sure there's not something to worry about with AD. And so as a result of that, and I said this from day one, ain't no way in hell he coming back 100%. He's going to play 100%. He's going to be unconcerned about anything. I don't believe it, Max. I don't believe it. So because of that is why I say to you, I'm not sure at all, and I don't think you nor anyone else should be sure about the Los Angeles Lakers because they need both to defend their crown, not just LeBron.
Well, that's right. You can't be sure, and you have every right to be suspicious. KD has been MIA, and so has AD.
Right.
And we've that's why we're asking, are you losing faith? You know, it's been sort of an article of faith. Yeah, but KD will get back. And when KD gets back, the Nets. And when AD gets back, the Lakers. You can look at the odds in Vegas. Those are the two leading odds-on favorites.
Well, a little less
Nets
with
and the
KD
Lakers.
because KD was the hamstring. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, but still, when you have
AD, it was the calf.
No doubt, KD's coming off an Achilles, right. And now you have leg issues, and so you get worried. By the way, look into it. Absolutely, that's worth looking into. I'll say this though. I still have faith in the sense that what has been reported so far is that AD will be back. I'll stick to the Lakers right now. AD is supposed to play in April. Does that give him and the Lakers, number one, can the Lakers survive until then and hold on to a playoff seed? I think the answer is yes. Number two, even if it's 15 games, all you got to do is win 5 of those, let's say. Number two, once he gets back and LeBron gets back, do they have enough time to get the chemistry going, to get in real basketball shape before the playoffs? I think the answer is yes. Then I ask myself, if they have LeBron and AD as most of themselves, do I like them to get out of the West? The answer is yes. By the way, you brought up LeBron's injury. You know he's going to be all right. As a Lakers fan, any Lakers fan out there should thank their lucky stars because that injury to me, Stephen A., when I saw it on originally, looked like a season ender to me. The knee to me seemed to move to the side. I was like, uh-oh. The fact that it's turned out to be a high ankle sprain is a blessing compared to what that could have been. But I just saw the way his leg rolled, and I wasn't concerned about it at all because it's LeBron. I really wasn't concerned about it at all. I said, you know something? He needs a break.
He needs a break anyway.
He walked off by himself. That was good.
You can't. The guy is 36 years of age in his 18th season and playing more games than anybody else. I mean, if I'm other guys, I would be embarrassed. Not guys with legitimate bona fide injuries that have them out. But I'm talking about these strains and you're not 100% and that's a reason to take nights off and all of this other stuff. This brother doesn't miss games.
What
and so I look at it from that perspective, and I'm like, I ain't worried about LeBron. He deserves his break. AD is a huge concern.
What
for
percentage of himself does AD have to come back at for them to get out of the West? Past the Jazz, past the Nuggets, past the Clippers, the Suns?
85%.
At least 85%.
At least 85%.
I think that's about it right. He has to be mostly himself.
At least 85%. If Anthony Davis is not at least 85%, the Lakers are not coming out of the Western Conference. Lakers ain't getting to the conference final.
Don't sleep on the Mavs either. I'm telling people they had a lot of COVID issues early. The West is a beast. It's a beast right now.
Well, listen, you say the Mavs, I say Portland, and I'm going to bring up the Clippers.
Phoenix.
Listen, Phoenix, but they're young. I just think there's a missing piece, but I love the fact they got point guard play, obviously. They got coaching. They got young athletes. They got a star in Devin Booker. I love what I'm seeing from Phoenix. I still think they're an additional piece away, but for me, this is it. If the Clippers can't do it this year, I think we need to have the discussion as to whether or not the whole Kawhi Leonard move was an absolute bust.
Last thing, Jamal Murray is normally about a borderline all-star regular season. He was a superstar in the playoffs.
Who?
Jamal Murray.
Yes, no
if that Jamal Murray shows up in these playoffs,
I think he will.
Denver is as live as anybody.
I believe Jamal Murray will step up because I think that's the kind of play he is.
But
Molly, I want to reiterate because I saw your reaction.